Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.co's daily brief. We were just listening to a fun tune there, getting all pumped for another exciting episode. One thing I will say right off the top, though, hey, there we are. We're live on YouTube now. One thing I will say right off the bat, I dropped the ball yesterday. There was a gentleman who had a tutorial booked yesterday, and I was out off in car shopping land. Thanks, Julian. Just kidding. Anyway, so Mr. Chris, I asked you if we could hook up right after the daily brief today. And I also gave you instructions last night to poke me as we're going through the daily brief here. If you are around, please poke me. Let me know that you're here and ready to go. I don't know whether you're on the YouTube page. But if you are on the website, just give me a holler, okay? So as we get closer and closer to 10 o'clock, I'm going to have to wind this up because I kind of let this guy down yesterday. So, all right, I just wanted to mention that. Second thing I wanted to mention right off the top of the bat, James, fucking superstar. This guy's such a hero. He's going to help me get through the level 3 years, you guys. And you're all graduated. You're grandfathered on the site. Kick back, relax. You guys own this place. It's not like you're going anywhere. But James and I are going to power through and get those sheepskins out to you guys. So thank you, James. I appreciate the offer of assistance. We've got the new website coming up here in the next couple of weeks. And, of course, the start of a new school term coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So we're all kind of running around here like a chicken without a head right now. So, and then, of course, we got a crazy altcoin market that's going nuts. So that doesn't help. Everybody try and keep your head on straight through all this. One thing I will notice that I think, just on balance, while we still have the old site up, that, I know a lot of you guys are probably going to be not too interested in the broader market's breadth. But, I think it's worth you guys checking in on the altcoin breadth data. This is the coins that we follow off of Polo. And I thought it was just really interesting the other day. We actually got to a situation where we had 84% all green on the short term and 90% green on the medium term. This has got to be bothersome to all of us altcoin people. And if anything, this has got to be a warning sign that, and gee, have any of you banged out any doubles recently? Have we booked a couple profits of late? Just maybe one or two? James is the only one who's got a profit off here lately. I sure hope a lot of you are fucking making some killer dough here. And like I see messages on the site all the time. Holy Jesus, this is insane, Brad. I wasn't expecting this. So, but this has got to be a warning sign to us, right? The party doesn't go on forever. And now we can already start to see that on the broader market basis, we're already getting a little bit nosebleedy here. Now, I noticed in the short term, we had a little bit of a punch in the nose. This is from a couple days ago. But we had a bit of a punch in the nose in the alt market, which sort of brought things back down to earth a bit when, Bitcoin had to do its sort of pullback here. We'll talk about Bitcoin more in a bit. But if anything, what I'm seeing now, and what's the chart I want to show you guys? I want to show you so many charts, so many. I think this one over here. Nope. One of these. Bear with me here a second. Gotta get my head on straight. How did I put all those spread charts in here? No, not there, not there, not over there, not there, not there. Too many charts. Oh, fudge. Hope I didn't lose it. Anyway, I had a nice spread chart matrix on here somewhere. Well, it looks like I might have put it away. So I won't talk about that today. But anyway, long and short of it here is I think the market matrix system alone is telling you, hey, let's just be cognizant of the fact that that a lot of the altcoin market is looking very, very uppy right now. You can see that on the short-term basis, like we said, a few of them got punched in the nose here recently, which sort of brought the market down here a bit, cleaned this up a little bit, which is encouraging. But this has got to be a warning sign to us, right? And of course, if you wake up in the morning and you see both of these heavily embedded above, let's say 75%, then you just got to cool your jets, man. You just got to say, okay, things are a little too frothy. Got to let things calm down. And if anything, get those Kavarkanator bids working and all that kind of stuff. Because, at some point the market is going to have to take a bit of a pause. So anyway, kind of bummed I didn't have that chart handy for you. Sorry, guys. I wanted to show you my spread charts. Oh, you know where I have it? I think I have it over here. This is what I was looking for. Crazy Brian. So, when we saw those, plus 80, plus 90 readings, right? And this is Benjamin. And I don't know, Benjamin, are you even around? I don't know whether he's actually updated this script or not. Maybe just let me know, Benjamin, whether this needs updating. This is the Bittrex alt index that you put together a while ago. But anyway, long and short of it here is, plus 80, plus 90 on both sides. Things are getting a little toppy, and you can see the M here in the altcoins themselves. And, this is that 90% up. Like everything is moving up right now. Is it a really good idea for us to be chasing ideas that are up at the top end of the range? Obviously not. This is part of your site membership, and you'll be getting this information in more robust detail down the road. But, like I said, when the altcoin, when the breadth index are both heavily embedded on the long side, and the overbought side, maybe we ought to just temper our enthusiasm a bit. So this is it's a warning, guys. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. We have a lot of shit that's moving up right now, and it's right up at the top end of the ranges, and that obviously isn't, that isn't conducive to making money, buying markets that are already up. All right, sorry, got off on a bit of a tangent there. So we talked about James. We talked about Chris. Chris, if you are around, and you should be, please PM me. Where are you? I'll be looking for that. Portfolio. Frankly speaking, if we just sort of bang around 500 grand here into the end of the year, I'll be perfectly happy with that. Have been spreading the jelly around a little bit. In fact, actually, I think I even bought a little thing. But yeah, I bought Potcoin here this morning. Sitting 480 right now. And a couple ideas that I'm chewing on. This one in particular, if we do fibs off of, this insane wick up here, back here, it draws a reload zone in this area. Then when I did like a little reload zone off of this range down to this range, that's also a reload zone-y. And I look at the internals, and yeah, I do see a little bit of a top that came in here on MACD. But generally pointing up, and I sure like the money flow here, just lots of chunky buying here. And of course, this is basically right in value, so I don't really have a problem. And I looked on my books, when these silly pops happen, of course, we got off piles of trades. So I actually looked on the books this morning, and I like to have a whack of Potcoins on the books. And I only had 0.04, so I went and just grabbed some of this. I do fully understand, shorter time basis. If we look at the hourly chart, you can see we should probably be, maybe even thinking about working stink bid ads down in this area. And if you want to hunt for gaps, go for it. Totally fine. And I did notice some people were like, well, Brian, there are some gaps down here. But I was just like, I only have 0.04 BTC on the books on this thing. It's come down off of its peaks. I just wanted to go grab some. So I just went and did a little nibbling here. You can see off of this level here. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have to come back down a bit. But nonetheless, I have seen in the past where when these things do break out, they just don't look back, and we don't get the pullback down into here. So like I said, I only had 0.04 on the book, so I just went and grabbed some. And any kind of dips back down into these lows, I think I might go and buy a bit more. And then this one here, really interested, really like this. This one, if we look at, of course, the longer time frame basis, you can see we're coming in trying to basically sneak in off the low end of the range. And I noticed here, and I've been seeing a lot of these lately, but here is another example of the Ron Jeremy 1 high, 2 highs, 3 highs. So we've got a trend line that's working. You can see the breakout, and this is basically that Ron Jeremy setup. You want to take the first market structure signal following the breakout. So that's basically a break of that 28.70 area. Today's high here is 28.250. So I've just put an alert on here, and if this thing breaks out through the top, I'm more than happy just to go grab some. Kind of like the pot, but I don't have any stink bids working on the pot, but very similar. Look down at the hourly chart, and I noticed, and we have this new class of trader, the Gap Demon Hunter, just because Brian loves this crazy little WoW video game. But anyway, I drilled down on the charts, and I noticed that off 78.6 below value, gee whiz, there's a cute little gap right down in here. So I've gone and thrown in another bid here if this thing falls out of bed and has to come right back down to the low. So I've got another bid working down below here to add to the position. And this was a V bottom. This was a kind of funny, crazy tail here that made the low. So could there be a bit more work that needs to be done out here? Sure. That wouldn't surprise me. But same sort of thing. I looked at the books, and look at this fucker. Now, don't you guys go and break this damn thing out as we're talking here. Because then that means I have to go and load up the damn screen and do a trade while we're talking. I've got the order all ready to go here. Let's see, 18.26. Yeah, okay. So I've got the stink bid has already gone in, but I'll just trade the momentum trade. I said that I was just going to buy it on a stop if we break out through the top here. So that's 28.70. I'll throw the order in here. Let's go 28.7, I don't know, 25 or so. Give the guys a couple shekels. So that's going to come out to about, Jesus, don't break it out as we're talking here, you bastards. Well, what the hell? I'll get the level going. So we might just get an alert. The computer might just go crazy here in a moment. As we said, 28,700 is the level. And I see 28,500 is the offer. 28.5, 28.5. There's quite a bit on the offer there, so I don't think we're in a huge hurry here. They've got to chew through about a third of a Bitcoin to get up to that 28.70 level. So let's see what they do here. But we might see the might hear the computers going off here. Jesus, it looks like they want to run this thing, eh? 500 just sitting at, oh, gee up, they just took the 500s out. Well, never a dull moment in this crazy space, eh? So 570. Tick, 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 tick. Holy Jesus, look at 780. There's only now, Jesus, only a tenth of a Bitcoin all the way up to 700. I think I'm just going to go break this thing out. Let's go have some fun here. All right, I got filled to 28,610. 0.009 is the offer. 0.015 is the offer at 28.70. Yeah, this is interesting. Did it say did it give us a print here? 28,610. 28.7 is the offer. Come on, take that offer out. 28,750. There it is. All right, so I just went. I kind of cheated there. I kind of front run the market, helped it up there a bit. 28.8 is the offer now. All right, well that's good. Okay, so we got that on there. We can change this now to bought. The double bottom. I'll continue working this bid here just because I'm more than happy to add, but let's see what happens. This should be a fun little trade here. So, again, sort of, I like W's. I like hunting W's. I'm a big fan of W's, and in essence, that's on. What's cool is we also have a bit of a W here on the Willie with a W on the OBV. If we, we'll know this thing's for real if they really start ramping volume up here in the short term. Right now, I would say it's still just probing up against these highs, but I'm happy, even just from a trader's perspective, I'm happy just simply trading this double bottom here. Let's see what happens. But my hunch is if this double bottom fails, then we're probably going to have to swim down here for quite a while. So we'll see what happens. All those traders, really, I don't even have a problem if you wanted to just risk this small range right here, just off of this inside bar reversal low. That's really not a bad little short-term momentum trade. So have fun with that. All right, so that's a couple things I've been doing in the market, and sort of hopefully you can see what I'm thinking here. We should probably pop on over, talk a little bit about the broader market. On every single window now we're going to load up here. It's going to go nuts. So ready? Oh, it only did one. Oh, that's good. Sometimes when you do that, it's just like every single window. Drive me crazy. I noticed that I'm hearing a lot of chatter about the gold and the metals markets this morning. I don't know whether you guys heard there was some big wrangling over in China. One of their major plants, they shut it down because of the pollution was just so bad for the local community. So I'm hearing a lot of talk of late about copper. And it's actually interesting that we are hearing talk about copper now, because Mr. fucking awesome TA super trader dude pointed out last election, just about a week or so before the election, he pointed out a TRI SOF trade setup that came in. Right, I think it was a TR. Maybe it wasn't. I think it was no. Was it a leveraged options trade strategy? I can't remember, James. But anyway, down here, I think it was. And then, of course, the election happened, and copper just went nuts. And now it's fascinating as you watch sort of time progress here, because clearly this son of a bitch is in a bull market, eh? I mean, there's no doubt about it here. And what's fascinating is if you use the tools that we teach at the site, the market itself actually told us exactly where to buy. I was so proud of James. Man, he has really learned this shit. And he was just like, holy Jesus. And then the election happened and Trump was elected and copper just went absolutely insane. So beautiful, beautiful call there last year, sir. I suppose if we're just looking at price charts alone, you can see the very ME action up here. You can see the very WE action in here. Not a bad idea. What do you think and it'd just be curious if you were looking at a chart like this and you were trying to figure out what's the sort of natural level for this thing to come back to. Let's maybe poll the YouTube audience. What is the sort of bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. So let's not be greedy. Let's have a nice conservative price target that we're going to use as an objective. Anybody? I love to put you guys on the spot. YouTubers, I'm waiting. I see somebody's got a happy face on over there. We have to, oh, there we go. Hey, Tunjay! Hey, doubles, it's nice. Thank you, Tunjay. So, to keep it really simple for yourself, quite often, just simply just take, when did the last sort of significant high, if you can get the silly fib tool to work. When did the last significant high happen? Oh, God, you're not going to cooperate, are you? Oh, gotta love trading views sometimes. There we go. All right. And I think it's a good idea to save a template, 50% rule, so it just keeps it nice and simple. And let's see. How are we doing here? Oh, hello. Doink. That's almost funny when you see that, eh? Isn't that incredible? You can't write better fiction than reality. So really the irony of it all, and hopefully all of you guys, if this is an altcoin, you see how we could, I'm seeing like an El Tanganator setup here. You see how we could just simply, ironically enough, that's the, this is basically the mean. But if we do things like reload zones, you guys see how it, I know we talk at length about altcoins and crypto and shit, but do you see how these concepts are completely universal? What do you think? Does everybody see that? Do you see how simple this is? Well, so what? Yeah, you're right. In crypto, this would be like 6 minutes. So, I absolutely love double bottoms within double bottoms. I mean, this is like just an absolute gift of a buy signal right there. And you might even use volume momentum. Can you guys kind of see how volume here is ramping up? Then all we're doing is we're just looking at the average volume price. I'm sure if we put on things like MACD indicators and RSIs and stuff, we could find divergences down here. But really, and the cool part about this is basically, this might even be like our El Tangonator. And, I think it's a good idea if you want to just keep it really simple is you just let the market go after this double bottom. We're not going to risk to that double bottom. We're going to risk to this double bottom. So there's your risk saying, all right, well, let's let them pull an FU off of these lows. This is why I like to use with the bot 3 lows. So then that way I work my stop down here and we can actually just let the market have fun with these lows. So, if we just conservatively, we got your stop up here. We have our 50% level as a target. That's a 3-to-1 risk reward. See how simple that is? The irony of it all, guys, is, you guys are learning this concept in crypto and you're kind of thinking like, okay, cool, I can use this in crypto. But what I'm really trying to teach you guys is this is the shit you can use for any market, anywhere, any asset for the rest of your life. Who knows if crypto is going to be popular 10 years from now? You don't know. But this shit works for the rest of your life in any asset, anywhere, anytime. We had one student, I don't mean to toot my own horn. We had one student who said to me, well, Brian doesn't like to fish for you. If you want to eat, you're going to have to fish for yourself. Brian will teach you how to fish, which is okay, right? What Brian's really going to do, Brian's going to teach you how to build the best fucking fishing pole you have ever seen in your life with all of the bells and whistles, all of the tricked out tools, everything that's going to make you win any fishing derby you go into for the rest of your life. Wouldn't that be kind of a cool tool to have in your back pocket? What did they used to call them? The pocket fisherman? I don't know whether you guys remember that. So anybody watching this video later on, I've thrown this chart in the lounge. Scroll up through that. You want just a really good working example of everything that we teach on this site. Here it is in glorious Technicolor. And the interesting thing is we had like a big fundamental event, the election of Donald Trump, the shifting from Democrat to Republican of the executive branch, more business friendly, blah, blah, blah. And woo, self-fulfilling prophecy. Is this the tail that wags the dog or is this the dog that wags the tail? I don't know, but the shit works. That's all we really care about, right? Is we want to make money from trading. How do you like this fish? Okay, didn't mean to get off topic. I do see Bitcoin's having some trouble here, so we should probably talk a bit about that now. It's interesting, our commentary about the metals, because I am very interested in buying gold here. And diversifying a bit of our portfolio out of crypto. Hey, there it is. Thanks, Tim. The pocket fisherman. There it is. You should put a TRI logo on that, Tim. Get Mo to put a TRI logo on that. That would be perfect. So I actually do like the idea. Yeah, well, if Mo's around, I'm sure he could grab that. I do like the idea of diversifying a bit out of Bitcoin direct exposure and into other assets. So I have been buying some gold lately. I only have one more stink bid right off of these lows down at this gap working. But, if the metals markets are going to rock and roll here, what I found fascinating here is you actually look at the gold price. Look at this goddamn chart, just straight up. Something big's going on here. Did hear that inventory data came in a little bit heavier than expected in the unleaded gasoline market. And I'm also hearing, too, that a lot of this push up here in crude was driven by 2 factors. Number one, there was a refinery in Libya that I don't know whether it exploded or what happened, but in essence, a whole bunch of Libyan supply was cut off, which really isn't that big of a deal to OPEC. Well, you know, the Middle Eastern production, they make a relatively small amount. So a lot of commentary I was reading was they were wondering whether this was a bit of window dressing into the end of the year. And the oil market might be a bit vulnerable because that fundamental really wasn't that big of a fundamental. As well, coming out of the tar sands in Canada and the North Dakota Balkans, one of the pipelines down to Cushing was put in under maintenance 2 weeks ago because there was a leak, and they just announced overnight that they're going to bring that back online. So I don't know whether I'm really, first and foremost, there's no fucking way I could buy crude up here. But I don't know whether this might be a bit of a year-end trap here on crude. So be careful, all you crude bulls. Yes, it is pointing higher. Thought it was also interesting, too. I noticed on the rags, the consumer sentiment data coming out of the States was a little bit suspect. And the U.S. dollar is kind of getting hit here. There's a lot of talk in the market that the Eurozone is a lot stronger than what data is leading us to believe. And we were watching this topping pattern in the euro. Now we actually have a double bottom that's confirmed at our trade level. So I'm a little bit concerned that maybe we got to just leave this, let it breathe a little bit here. And as long as I keep hearing hawkish talk out of the Eurozone, and like I said, we actually have weaker U.S. econs, a little bit concerned about that. So I'm going to temper my enthusiasm about being short of the euro right now. And, you know, a lot of talk I'm hearing is one of the reasons that, if I'm not mistaken, silver's done pretty well here recently. One of the reasons that they're attributing a lot of this metal strength recently to is because the U.S. dollar seems to be under attack here. Very interesting. Never a dull moment in this space, that's for sure. Also hearing a lot of sort of tepid bullishness coming out of Japan as well. So we might be in another one of these. And keep in mind, Donald Trump, Republicans, they love the idea of a weaker U.S. dollar. This is beautiful. This is music to them. Higher oil prices, more jobs out of the Balkans, blah, blah, blah. Exactly what Trump needs. And we're seeing it being reflected in the gold price here. And frankly speaking, this is quite surprising how dramatic this rally has been. And of course, you know, this is the end of the fear cycle. This thing actually in 1980, it opened up the first 2 weeks. And do yourself a favor to see how these fear cycles usually end. The first 2 weeks of 1980, the gold price doubled in price. And then everybody was like, okay, fine. Okay, we'll put it down. And that was the top. So, you know, war on inflation, all that kind of talk. Frankly speaking, I have no idea how this cycle is going to end, but it is interesting to see gold's going into face rip mode here. And of course, you know, our old buddy Bitcoin has been in face rip mode for quite some time. All right, let's get on to Mr. Bitcoin and talk a little bit about him today. As I said, I'm very interested in sort of building anti-Bitcoin proxies here. I'm actually really considering going and buying some more of that NBT. We've cleared probably about 3 or 4 Bitcoin in altcoin profits here recently, so we're extremely Bitcoin rich right now. If anything, I probably and you know, in a weird sort of way, it wouldn't surprise me too if a lot of altcoiners in that community are actually taking profits here and selling their Bitcoins and just banking some of this money here. You guys are aware, of course, that I have been trying to run a bit of a exit strategy on Bitcoin. Where should we put this? Oh, Jesus, our little popcoin's popping here. How's this guy doing? Ooh, nice. All right, those are looking good. Maybe let's do it over here. I don't know whether I have it saved, but I don't. I think I probably lost it. Let's see what we got here. BTC, USDT. You know, we don't necessarily need to go into it into too much detail. Yeah, I lost it, fuckers. But I had basically suggested to our audience here that I was going to be lightening up as we sort of hit levels here going up. A little pissed off at myself. I actually had an order working here at this level, and these sons of bitches, I had the order working at 16,533, and you can see the high of that bar, 16,532.94. Fuckers! Jerks. So I got two of my cells off. Not really the best location. Believe it or not, guys, I'm actually still thinking that we need to probe up into here. And the interesting thing is the fact that we did pivot so violently off of 61.8 does have me a bit concerned for our old buddy Gartley. If you're not familiar with Gartley's, I'll just take a moment here and show you. Christopher, I'm waiting for you. Where are you? Let me know that you're here, damn it. Where do I want to show you this? Do I have it in here? If you're not familiar with Bitcoin, like you haven't been in the space that long, we need to understand. I just have a good example here. The last sort of major collapse of Bitcoin was back in about 2014. And what was really interesting is it was a late summer failure, and it set up this short trade. And it's basically one of the, I do a lot of teaching on harmonics. And also this is a really good example of stop management strategy that we teach in the program. I just wanted to show you, though, this image here of this harmonic pattern. Can you see this harmonic here? And if we go into the library for your reference, I have on here the harmonic pattern cheat sheet. I think this is a good sort of tool for everybody just to download. I used to have this printed out, and I used to like sit right beside my computer screen when I was trading crude, and we just hunt harmonic patterns all day long in the crude pits. But in essence, this is the image that I'm talking about up here, this Gartley pattern. So I'm going to be watching like a hawk how price behaves, because you notice the X to A to B is a perfect 61.8. And you can see that the B to C, we could go all the way down to 88.6 here. We could stop at 38.2. So B to C has a pretty wide range here. But the long and short of it here is, if we do turn at this, these lows, and then we come up through the top of this 61.8, we have to be damn cognizant, sharp as a tack. If we fail up here at 78.6 or up in that area, this could be that long-term pivot signal that we've been looking for. And also, too, the fact that Bitcoin loves to top out at the end of the year and tank, like literally January 1st. I've seen it year in, year out. It shouldn't shock us that this is sort of developing like this. If anything, if you're a Bitcoin bull, the irony of it all is I think you actually, if you're a Bitcoin bull, you would actually prefer to see this just go bang, 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 done, get it out of the way. If, however, we come down, you can see we've done 38.2 now. There's 61.8. There's 78.6. If we turn through here and then we head back up into the reload zone and we show any signs of failure up here, this becomes very troublesome going forward down the road. So please be cognizant of that. This would be a bearish Gartley, Wayne. A bullish Gartley would be the exact opposite. And the cool part about it, right, is we have these X to A, B, C's, right? So we go boo, boo, boo. If we bottom here, boo, and then up to here, can you see the Gartley? So this is what I will be watching. Now, we have to be cognizant, and we have some site members who are absolute harmonic sharks. We have to be cognizant that there will be guys, and especially this one, the alt bat, there will be guys who will be hunting 113s. Good old Steven, you know he's going to be around. We might also be doing something like a crab all the way to 1.618. So we have to understand that these are what are called PRZs, or potential reversal zones. And we just have to simply respect and watch how price behaves. If we rally up into, and this particular one was a bearish bat, if we happen to rally up into that area and then start showing signs of failure, well, we have to be ready, willing, and able to pull the trigger. If this does play out this scenario here, then ironically enough, I'm actually going to get off all my sells that I want. And I might even sell some more. We're very early in this. I mean, frankly speaking, this is just purely speculation. We could very easily be carving out a head and shoulders here. And the problem with these head and shoulders is they're not symmetrical. They're very sloppy, and this could be really ugly. So it might be something along the lines of boobity boo. Clone that. And boobity boo. All right. So we come down, do AB equals CD, and then come down to the neckline down in here. Totally possible. So I definitely don't like the idea of a trade setup trading the head and shoulders here. If anything, I'd just be using this as sort of a guideline. And as I said before, the interesting thing about this is very rarely do we ever actually see mountain man tags and boom, the market just fucking collapses. That doesn't happen every day. If we do actually probe down to new lows, then that definitely tells me that I'm thinking A, B, C, D. See, it's 661.8, and I think it's going to be a very natural A, B equals C, D pattern, and that's sort of what thinking. That is this thinking. Boom, 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 boom. So ironically enough, if you're a bull and you're like, I want this bull to continue, you actually would prefer to see this. Just rip the Band-Aid off, get it done. I really don't want to see the market turn here, head back up into here, and then show signs of failure. That would be bothersome. But anyway, only time will tell. As I said, little choked. I didn't get my fill there the other day. Journal, PMA. We'll get them next time. At least I was thinking in the right direction. A little sloppy on my order execution. And I think the Tether boys just had some fun with me. I'm very well diversified. So I think you guys can clearly see that I'm not really, oh, that's ECL, that number should be corrected. I think what ends up happening is that this doesn't get updated until the end of the day, so that's why you see some of these odd numbers. But actually, I do like the fact that we now have the gold. The Voltero now is being reported on this, so that's kind of cool. But as you can see, I would ideally like this to just get more and more and more diversified. You can see we have, and actually this isn't even an accurate count because that's not including the Cryptopia coins. And I don't think it includes the Polo coins either. So, you know, nice, well diversified basket. So really, the irony of it all is that we've actually taken back 25% of this entire bull. And we're still sitting right around 500 grand. I mean, I'm laughing. If this silly thing wants to go back up to new highs, gee whiz, what's that going to do to our balance? I don't know. It scares me. So I'm just, for me, and like I said, I'm in here buying, and actually would just update this because I actually went and just bought some more, right? So AEON. I'm in here buying. I'm recycling. I'm just working my book, right? Buys against lows, sells against highs. All right. So what do you think, guys? Did I give you sort of a clear picture of what I'm thinking about Bitcoin here in the short term? I am seriously. Oh, we should probably talk a little bit about the futures. Where the hell is that? So, you know, I am starting to really respect what I'm seeing out of this chart more and more. I do believe that the futures boys have started to take over this game. I noticed that, the other day we had mentioned how there was lots of sort of mini profiles throughout here. And in essence, what I see happening is this counter trend rally is basically filling in the profile. Can you guys see how all of these nodes now are all leveling out and we're starting to get fuller? Does that make sense? That's basically what this price exploration process is all about, is the profile wants to fill itself out. You notice that there's still this big hole up in the profile right up in this reload zone. I honestly think, guys, it sure seems to me that we're carving out. And in this particular case, what's interesting is I did the fib off of these highs. I suppose I could do the fib right off of the original entry. High print there. That moves it up a little bit more. That's probably more accurate. So interesting here that off of the entire range, that was basically a 50% doink. That's fascinating. And if anything, 50% level, this actually makes more sense to me, because 50% level is basically our bat pattern, 38.2 to 50%. So it's looking for 88.6. But you'll notice that the dip here down can go 38.2 all the way to 88.6. And if we look on the chart, we see that this gap, and we've been talking about this gap for a while, is sitting right at 78.6. And what's fascinating is in the daily brief we had the other day, and we said, wow, the market was ratcheting up here, but look at all these Swiss cheese. They just left this wide open as soon as it's done. Can you guys see Hoag's 80% play here? This is, I mean, seriously, guys, if you guys want to learn how to trade, this is the fucking shit, and it's taught nowhere. You have to pay like thousands and thousands of dollars to learn this shit, and it's just right there, glorious Technicolor. Basically came in, accepted into the range. We talked about this in the daily brief. 80% of the time should go up and tag value low. And doink, tagged it and crapped out. I mean, it's fucking perfect. Take a screenshot of this, man. This is, I mean, it's absolutely perfect. I'll throw it in the lounge if you want it. So 50% tag, and if anything, this would be really good, because then 88.6, we can go as high as 88.6. So if we let's throw on just and we actually have a graduated level 2er who's really using the 88.6 like a fox. Ian and DOS Ianinator, I don't know what we're going to call it. But anyway, there is 88.6, and notice that's basically right up against the original double top highs, and it basically would fill that gap in. It would fill in this massive unfinished notch right up here and just bring market right up against the top of this little profile right up here. So I'm really liking a stab back up into here. But the bottom line here, guys, is the market's going to do any old damn thing it wants. If we go and lose these lows, then my hunch is AB equals CD, like we showed you off of Phoenix. And this could be just an absolute screaming train wreck move straight down to 8,000. If anything, for all you guys that are kind of like looking for, I've been waiting for months and months and months to get in on Bitcoin. Well, if we do get that dump into this level, that's going to be your buying opportunity of a lifetime kind of bullshit, right? All right. So, for those that are wanting to buy Bitcoins, I'd be really focused in on this area down in here. For those that are wanting to lighten up their Bitcoins, I would be focused in on up here. If we do get the pattern that comes up into this area and then we fail, that actually tells me, and it would line up perfectly with the whole fear cycle thesis, that the bull market in Bitcoin itself is probably done for now. Okay, whew, wow, that was a mouthful. Would you buy from your tethers if it did? That's not a bad idea, Wayne. Not a bad fucking idea at all. I mean, I got a shitload of those tethers. And the interesting thing is I started to hear people squawking about Tether again last night on Twitter. And it was like the price of the Bitcoin's collapsing. People are squawking about Tether. So if I want to get out of Tether, they're giving me the opportunity to buy Bitcoin on the cheap. I don't understand the logic of this. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't really buy that Tether FUD bullshit. It doesn't make any sense. I do buy the idea that if price of Bitcoin is heading down, and Thomas was in the lounge last night just having a great old time, just raping the damn market. So, if you see Thomas hanging around the lounge, odds are Bitcoin price is probably heading down. And what I see is people that are in altcoins panicking, and the Tether people are just fucking I mean, I don't mean to be rude. I apologize. I've used this term a couple of times recently, but the Tether people are literally raping these altcoin kids that are panicking and dumping and wanting to get out of Bitcoin and taking whatever they can possibly get on the Tether price. So sad, but that's the way it goes in trading. Don't get sucked into that. The irony of it all is because, of course, I'm selling Bitcoin into Tether as the market's moving up. If the market melts down and the Tether kids, kids that are panic dumping Bitcoin and taking whatever price they can get, they might actually give me really discounted Bitcoin if I'm really lucky. So we'll see what happens. Okay, it is 10 minutes to the top of the hour. I haven't really done a lot of your requests recently. I apologize, guys. We do spend a lot of time in the lounge just going through chart after chart after chart. So we have talked quite a bit about quite a few of these coins. Potcoin, I just went and bought some of that. So hopefully that takes care of that request. Brian, can you shed some light on why you are shedding off some BTC to USD these days? Okay, I think I've talked a bit about that. If it is part of your plan, may you please share with us when you decide on reducing our crypto exposure or taking profits to fiat? Thanks a lot. Well, this is an interesting question, CryptoPot. Any idea, and I don't know whether you're actually watching this, and where's my 10 o'clock guy? 10 o'clock guy, where are you? I'm waiting for you to poke me. Oh, I'm here? That's you? No, that's not you, cheeky bugger. Oh, isn't that interesting? I have a phone call. Hold on a second. Hey, sorry about that, guys. Anytime anytime that I get a call, I have to be worried that it might be about Liam, so it wasn't, so no big deal. Okay. Okay, where are we here? So, long and short of it here is, and I don't know whether you're aware, Crypto Dude, what is my risk of owning this portfolio? Is that Crypto Dude guy around? Does anybody know? What's my risk? Well, actually, there's a bit of risk. It's not totally zero. About $500-600, right? Something like that. So I'm really playing from a position of strength. I know it's gonna, like a guy like Julian, he's gonna fucking crap his pants if this account comes down a bit. But really, I hope you guys understand the whole reason why I built this portfolio is I want to be long crypto. I want to own the crypto story. And the reason why this is done as well as it has is I've just put myself into a risk-free position as fast as possible and just be long. So I would ideally like to stay long crypto as long as possible and just keep rinse and repeat. Just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. But, let's call a spade a spade. If I put $500 into it and the market's starting to hand me like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand just sitting here as a check for 50 grand, Brian, would it be maybe a good idea to maybe think about, let's maybe put 50 grand into, I don't know, into venture cap stocks. I don't know, let's put 20 grand into trading the bot on OKCoin. So it isn't so much that I'm getting out of crypto. It's just simply I want to spread my eggs out, right? I just want to diversify a little bit and give me, I think it's really important. And I ask you guys every day, let's see if anybody can answer this. What is your number one job as a trader? See if anybody on the YouTube audience can... Come back tomorrow. Where are you YouTubers? Maybe they can't even hear me yet. So the key here is not so much that I'm getting out of crypto. It's just that if I have a whole bunch of capital sitting in different assets, don't get blown up. Live to trade tomorrow. Thank you, Graham. Then I'm playing from a position of strength, and I can be a good role model for you guys. I can come and do this on a daily basis, have a really good, positive conversation with you guys, and we have fun at this. So it's not necessarily, CD, that I want to get out of crypto, but I just simply want to play from a position of strength. And you should never hold all your eggs in one basket. So I hope that helps answer your question. Okay, are there any other ones here that we should, BTSC stock? Ooh, interesting. I haven't looked at a stock in a bit. BTSC stock. Bitcoin services. Oh, this got train wreck written all over it. I don't know. I mean, hopefully when you look at this chart, whoever asked about this, you should clearly see where the market told you to be a buyer. Right there. I suppose you could come by later on and go, gee whiz, we did nice reload zones, and sure looks like there's another W's that are coming in here, right? You could have even bought this one as well. I wouldn't have that bad of a problem with that. But up here, and the problem here is this is OTC. You need to understand, I don't know where this stock trades, if it's pink sheets, bulletin boards. You need to understand, people, please. And this is one of the reasons why I don't really like trading the bulletin board, is these people have absolutely no obligation to tell you the truth. I mean, you think crypto is bad? Oh, fuck me. These guys are actually blatant in their criminal behavior. Blatant. So, we all know GBTC. This trades on the over-the-counter market. Is Bitcoin right now $19,950 a coin? Sure, all of you guys would be like, yeah, sure. Theoretically, this thing is supposed to be 1/10 the size of Bitcoin, or 1/10, or 1/100th, or whatever. Why isn't this thing trading at whatever the hell the Bitcoin price is? $14,000 a coin. Why is it trading at 19,000? Well, these guys legally don't have to trade the fund at the net intrinsic value, and they're not going to come in and say, "Oh no, don't buy our fund." You want to buy it? Buyer beware. So, that's my number one caution with regard to this. If you do want to invest in this, the number one thing you have to find out is where are the insiders long, and you need to insiders long to the tune of 5% of the company, 10% of the company. 1/4%, that's not enough. You really need to know where the insiders long. And the worst part about it is, guess where I think that the insiders are long? Hello. And the worst part about it is Joshua. Can everybody see exactly where Joshua is going to be bidding? Doink. Doink. Right now, let's go zoom out. Where is that now? Boom. Holy Jesus, Josh was bidding down here? Hey, if you can make money doing it, go for it, man. And keep in mind, that's the worst part about the stock market, right? Is that people hate people that go in and buy down here, but who gives a fucking rat's ass? This isn't a popularity contest. This is about making money. So could I justify buying this thing here? No way. Can't even touch it. And you want some levels to consider. Yeah, you could maybe look to buy against this bottom, but if this thing really craps out, my hunch is it's got to come right back down to these lows here. So, yeah. If anything, this is a perfect testament. Who do you think is buying up here? Somebody's buying up here. Who do you think's buying up there? Bob? Oh, poor old Bob. Who's Bob? Well, I'm not allowed to use that word, Joshua. But have you known me since I've gotten into trouble using that word? I use that word, and holy shit, Twitter shits on my head. All right. So anyway, the point of the matter here is that we as professionals should look at this and go, "Yeah, this is so cliche." Right. Okay. I think we're probably gonna have to leave it at that because I really don't want to be late for this gentleman. I stood him up yesterday, and that wasn't really too cool. I was kind of hoping, Chris, that you would PM me here. But I think I'm gonna leave the rhetoric at that for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. Do you guys feel like you're getting good value hanging around this site? You feel like and let's maybe ask the YouTubers. For anybody who's actually just has like a silver membership, obviously my school people, they all love me to death. But just people that are just general site members, do you feel like you're getting value out of participating in these daily briefs? Bernard says yes, so that's good. Yeah, well, I'm going to soon corrupt you, aren't I, Joshua? All right, guys, you have yourselves a great day. Remember, number one priority for Brian is I want you to feel like you're getting good value for your money spent here. I want you to try and learn something. I want all of us to, work together to be better traders. The great part about it is the market isn't going anywhere. These principles work. Long and short of it here, rinse and repeat, play from a position of strength, and let's all get rich together. I mean, that's the whole point of this exercise, right? All right, guys, you have yourselves a great day. All the best, and bye for now.